back, everybody. Today we got Amy Sanders. Hi, Amy. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Coming at us from Lincoln, Nebraska. Is it cold up there?
It's actually a really nice day today. I went on a walk before this, so yeah.
Oh, how nice. Yeah. Um, so like where actually is Nebraska? That's like
I
what's
think it's
below it?
pretty much smack dab in like the middle of the country, but above, and I'm really bad at geography, but I think it's
Me
south.
too.
No, it's like Iowa's around us, and like I'm sure South Dakota's north. Or did I say Iowa's south? See, bad at geography. Iowa's north, South Dakota's north, and then Kansas is south.
So there's some cowboys out there.
Yeah, I live in the city, so I haven't seen too many of those, but yeah, I'm sure they're out there hiding in the cornfields.
Yeah, yeah. So Lincoln is Lincoln a big city?
Yeah, it's
Lincoln's
one
the
of the bigger
capital.
ones. It's like a big city for Nebraska for sure. And then we're an hour away from Omaha, which is also another big city, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I think Lincoln is the capital of Nebraska,
Yes.
right? So we were just chatting before we started. You went to West Virginia for your undergrad.
Yeah.
Did you did you study ceramics there?
I did. Was there for 3.5 years, but before that I was at a community college in Pennsylvania, so that's where I grew up. And I actually got my associates in business there. So I didn't start ceramic seriously until like I went to West Virginia. Yeah.
Very cool. So where in Pennsylvania? You're not far from me then.
No, I grew up in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, gosh, that's like I think 3 hours from me.
Yeah.
I had a girl on the show last season. This is season 2. Your episode, I think 17 or something, 18. It's
Lucky
crazy.
17. I'm sure it's lucky somewhere.
It's crazy how many of these I've done. And I have 6 more lined up for this month and like 5 for next month. It's so fun.
Busy
But
January.
I had one girl on and she was like, I live in Rochester. I was like, wait, you live 20 minutes away from me.
Oh my gosh.
So you went to West Virginia and you didn't start clay until West Virginia?
I didn't start taking it seriously. I was going to like a small community studio when I was at my community college. And then before that, I like tested the waters in high school and I like really fell in love with it. But I was one of those people that was super unsure about like being able to make a living in
Well,
ceramics.
yeah.
But then I finally just decided to do it once because I knew I wanted to go to a 4-year university and get a degree, a 4-year degree. Yeah,
So did you get a BFA from West Virginia?
I did. Yeah.
Sweet. And you're getting your MFA at Lincoln, Nebraska. Cool. And you're doing like, is it an MFA? So I noticed some schools are doing this now where it's not like a ceramics degree, it's an art degree. So are you specializing in ceramics or are you getting an MFA just in art?
Yeah, it's like so I think that what would show up on like my certificate if I, pass would be is going to be a master's in fine arts with a concentration in ceramics. So like ceramics
Yeah.
will be on there, but it's not like an MFA in ceramics.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, I wonder. But how fun. I would love to do that. Oh my gosh. I almost actually went back to Alfred many years ago
Hmm.
to to go back to school and go through the ceramics program because I knew a lot. I knew all the professors, some of the famous people, John Gill and Val Cushing and all them. And
Hmm.
so I texted my buddy or emailed my buddy. Of course, this was quite a while ago. We weren't texting back then. And I said, hey, I'm thinking about going back to Alfred. And he says, why would you go to school to learn to make and sell pots? You're already making and selling pots.
Yeah.
I was like, good point. He's like, save your money. But yeah. So you want to make a living you want to be a professor? Or what do you want to do?
I do. I want to be a professor, so I'm just trying to fill my tool bag as much as I can, so that I can be like the most useful educator when and if I get a
If you
professorship
pass,
somewhere.
yeah. I assume you will pass. Yeah, very cool. That's commendable. And how fun to be a ceramics professor. That would be a blast.
Yeah, it seems pretty exciting. I'm already teaching like beginner level classes, and I mean, it's really exciting and rewarding to kind of see that like the click, like when everything just kind of falls into place. And I'm sure it was probably rewarding after watching like me be frustrated for a long time as like a young little like clay bee Amy,
Hmm.
um to like have that moment where like some things just fall into place in a really like nice way. So that's something that I really want to pay forward.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting to say. Do you remember that moment? Like when it started to fall into place? Or did you just kind of, it just kind of happened as you were stuck with ceramics?
I think there were phases. I think it, like I wish there was like this like life altering moment where it was just like boom.
The
But
clouds parted.
yeah, I guess if we're talking kind of like this body of work that I've kind of fell into where altering and darting has become like a really heavy presence in my work, I would say it happened in like 20, I think it was 2021 in like
Hmm.
June at Aeromont. I got a scholarship to take a workshop and and I chose a workshop with Malcolm Abutu Smith.
Yeah, uh-huh. I met
And
Malcolm a
it
couple times.
was, yeah, it was just like really eye opening the way that like he approached darting and altering. And then also it's kind of really beautiful because my undergrad professor, well, one of them was Jen Allen,
Yeah,
and that was her professor at Indiana Bloomington. So it was kind of like this
gotcha.
tiny little full circle moment.
Very cool. Yeah, Jen Allen is like insane hand builder.
Yeah, she's a rock star for sure.
Dude, like there's two people I know, or I've seen, I guess, in my clay time that can move clay, hand building wise as good as her. It was just her and John Gill. I watched John Gill build one time and I was like, this guy's doing something I've never seen before. It's
Hmm.
just pure freedom.
Yeah. She she just has such smart hands and she's just a smart person in general, but it was
Yeah.
really great to be able to work with her. She was adjunct at the time pretty much like one class a semester, so my interface wasn't as constant as like maybe some of the other professors, but it was enough that like it obviously created a lasting impact.
Yeah, I took a little online workshop with her a couple years ago. I think I have a book that I did notes. It was a lids. It was all about making lids.
Yes.
And it was great. And what's funny is I was sitting there because I work all summer and then in the winter I'm off and I just make pots. So I
Mhm.
was signed up. It was like a November workshop and I was super excited to learn a little bit from Jen. And I sat right here at this table, put my laptop in front of me, got a cup of coffee, and I was like, oh, I'm going to take this workshop and take notes. I had a pad and a pencil. I was a good boy. I was ready to go and learn. And it was a Zoom, right? And there was
Mhm.
like, I look up in the top right corner and there was like 186 people on it. And
Whew.
I was like, yeah. I was like, wait a second. This thing cost $70.
Mhm.
I was like, that's $12,000.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I was like, wow, okay. And it's funny, I did a few online workshops last winter, which was great. Have you ever done an online one? Like taught one, I mean?
Actually, no, no, but I'll be participating in February in the Women and Queer in Clay workshop series from Gasworks.
Neat. Yep.
Yeah. So
It's
that would be exciting and a new kind of learning curve.
so like a couple things I want to touch on. It's so funny I get ahead of myself. You see me writing stuff down, it's because I'm making sure I don't forget.
No worries. Yeah.
So Aramont, I'm wearing my Aramont hat, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love that place. Actually, right now it's Pentaculum this week.
Yeah, I did that last winter, and I was actually just there for utilitarian clay, like as an assistant, not one
Yeah,
day,
yeah, yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, I'm hoping to go to utilitarian clay next year. Hold on, I gotta find my needle tool. There it is. But Pentaculum was just so fun. Like I can't wait to go back. It's funny. There's a whole bunch of people I know there this week at Pentaculum.
Mm-hmm.
So I was talking to Sam Chumley. You know Sam, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I texted him yesterday. I was like, man, I'm so bummed that I'm not there. I said, you know what I might do? I said, maybe I'll just drive down, get a hotel across the street, and just walk in the studio. Like, oh, hey, what are y'all doing here?
Yeah. Like, what a
Oh,
coincidence that
utter
we're all here.
coincidence. Oh, is that this week? Oh, yeah, my bad. Well, seeing as how I'm here.
Might
He's
as
like,
well
yeah,
just stay.
might as well make pots with y'all. No, I
Sure.
loved it. I'm teaching there again next year. I taught there last year. So I'm a golf pro. That's what I do for a living.
Hmm.
And they have a fundraiser every year, a
Okay.
golf tournament. It's raised like over the last 20 something years, it's raised like $700,000 for the school. It's kind of crazy.
Amazing.
Yeah. So they had me come down and like play in the golf tournament. And then because the golf tournament was 3 days before my workshop that I was teaching. So I was down there for like 2 weeks. And you know what
Nice.
was the best? The workshop that was before mine got canceled like last minute. So you know that big amazing studio? I had it to myself for 3 days.
Oh my gosh. Lots
Right?
of shenanigans.
Dude, I was cranking music and I had 3 tables covered with pots, you know?
That's the dream.
It really was a dream come true, just making a mess and cranking tunes, and yeah, it was a good time. And then there's nothing better, right? All you have to do is like go to breakfast, eat a nice meal, go make pots
Mhm.
until noon, eat lunch, you know? It's kind of all I want to do.
I know. I feel like the healthiest when I'm like at, craft schools like Aramont, and I've gotten to go to Penland, and I'm just
Penland,
like,
yep.
wow, I never eat 3 square meals a day. I feel great.
Yeah, you're like, hey, this really works.
Yeah.
Maybe my parents were right.
Yeah.
What's your dog's name?
His name is Sir Bentonite.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you call him Bento?
No, I do call him Benny, and then everyone's just like, anyone that's non-swearing is like, oh, like Benny and the Jets. I'm like, exactly. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
yeah, sure.
we don't have to go down this rabbit hole. But you like, yeah, I'll let you think. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
Benny and
yeah,
the
yeah.
Jets.
He is super cute.
Thank you.
I have 2 dogs and 2 cats right now. One of my cats weighs 21 pounds. He's a his like his belly sways back and forth when he walks.
Very sassy.
Yeah, I call him an area rug because he'll like lay down on his side in the middle of the hallway, and he's just huge, but he's awesome. Yeah. So you were talking about darting, right? Do you remember like when you first darted something and you were like, I really like the way that works, and then you just kind of like, oh gosh, I'm going to run with that.
I mean, I like it how it took the really specifically like to that Aramon experience. I would say that I just, because it was so freeing as a workshop, like I wasn't in school at the time, and there's just this week of freedom, like I just like hacked into this one piece left and right, and it was just great. And like I really enjoyed like that I could kind of dictate in a secondary way how the clay moved, and like taking something off the wheel that's round and just really changing it and removing it from the wheel in that way. I don't know if that makes sense or is too wordy, but yeah.
No, no, it absolutely does. I remember the moment when I decided to be a hand builder because I remember, I love throwing. Throwing's fun, and it's a great way to start. And I still throw my mug bodies, and I'll throw bowls. If somebody wants like a ramen bowl, I'll throw a set of ramen bowls. But I remember sitting in the studio, and I threw a big tall cylinder like this bottle. And the thing was sitting there, and I'm like looking at it, and it's just spinning on the wheel. I'm like, well, now what do I do? Now I gotta like, there's so much more work to that than just the throwing part,
Hmm.
But everybody wants to throw. I'm like that, like when I go do a demo or something, I'm like, this is fun and everything, but this is just the beginning of the piece.
Yeah, it's just the beginning, exactly.
Yeah. So I just decided to play with that. I was actually remember watching Sunshine Cobb
Yeah.
on one of her YouTube videos, and she was just ripping pieces of clay out of the bag and just squishing them up like this in her hands, and then just going boop 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 boop. And I was like, oh, that looks like fun. I'm doing that. Yeah. So I've been doing that ever since. What are you making there? Slump molds?
Yeah, it's kind of like a drop mold. So I design these on like an iPad. So I'll draw them and then I take them into Illustrator, and then
Mm-hmm.
I take them to the laser cutter, and then I cut these out. And so um these are how I make my pillowed handles. And
Your
they're,
puffy
I mean,
handles.
yeah. So, and like the knobs and such. What was I going to say? Yeah, it's been fun to use like this, like the negatives for these, and then I've recently been trying to use the positives because I'm trying to be as thoughtful about the environment as possible, and I like don't want to waste things. So Yeah,
Mhm.
like I have this big box of like the positive parts, and so slowly trying to figure out how to incorporate those, whether it's stamps or using those as shapes. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I love your pillow handles and pillow spouts, and I just love your forms. They just look so fun. They're just each one of them is just fun.
Thank you.
And I really like the way you kind of push the functionality and the fun. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's been even more freeing in grad school because I'm not like expected to make something that works right now, which is
Hmm.
good. And
Hmm.
it's really exciting for me because I've been pushing like the bounds of function. And of course, I want to eventually kind of, and I'm like anxious to use the word like dialing it back. But then I guess my next step is like engineering ways to keep both or as much as everything as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the trick, I guess, right?
Yeah.
To make it so it's like it's kind of make it as cool as you can looking, but it still works for almost an everyday use.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something I'm grappling with for sure.
It's definitely not easy. My Instagram like bio thing, it says my pots meet in the space between functionality and me having fun.
Yeah,
Right? Because I have to enjoy doing it myself because I come down and do this every day. If it's not fun, I'm not going to do it very often.
for
Right?
sure. Yeah. There are some days that I get into the studio and I'm like, why did I pick this like practice where I like have to dart everything and alter and like make everything so complicated? And then I
Yeah.
like look at the end result and I'm like, okay, I like get it. I do
Yeah,
love
yeah,
the
yeah.
process. I'm a process person for sure.
There is so I had a guy in here yesterday doing some insulation for me, and it was kind of post bisque. So there's all those steps before you glaze, and I had a table full of stuff. And it's like, this is so overwhelming because that's where it becomes to me like repetitious, I guess, and boring. When
Hmm.
you have to do 6 mugs and you're like, oh, I gotta do this 6 to 8 times in a row. Then you gotta wax the edges, then you gotta wax the bottom. Then it just kind of got boring. But
Hmm.
I have a kiln over there right now that's 100 and something degrees. Speedball sent me a bunch of colors to test for them, and I'm pretty excited. I did a bunch of them yesterday, but I don't know. There's also that, you've done it enough times where you open the kiln and you go, ugh, what a waste of time. Like everything's terrible. Like, ugh. Why is that? I don't know. Do they get better for you after a couple of days? Like you ever look in there and I hate everything. Why am I doing this?
Yeah, I think that's from like the few years that I really like stuck to a lot of atmospheric firing because I feel like those take some time where you really need to like just like kind of leave it even if there's so much disappointment in there because you do find the one like the one golden piece or like you know or the
Yeah.
tiny little nugget of hope in the bunch in like the needle in the haystack. It's there. It sometimes it just takes time to reveal like so. Yeah. And I guess, I mean, that's been happening with like some of my jarting and altering. I do work in like iterations and like change a little bit in each piece every, like, whether I'm doing like six pictures or, working
Hmm.
through a series, everything changes very minutely or drastically. And I think
Yeah.
that's how I keep
Yep.
things exciting. But sometimes I like put so much work into stuff and then I'm like, look,
Yeah.
no, never. I don't want to look at that
Yeah.
ever again.
Yeah. Don't. I guess that's why a lot of potters have what they call smash piles, right?
Yes.
Where uh, where does your process start? I mean, you obviously you get an idea. Do you first sketch it, or you just kind of have at it?
Both. It kind of depends sometimes. Yeah. So when I start from a sketch, I sketch an idea and I don't sketch all like six iterations of the things that I want to make. I just kind of get the idea across of that like I want to make a ewer that has like a spout that like it either it exudes in one way or like it has this essence in some manner and then it kind of just evolves from there through each iteration and that's what I find really nice that it's kind of like a family but they're not like none of them are twins.
Yeah, that's a really cool way to, to look at it. Yeah. I always tell people I don't do sets. I'm like, I'll make you, 4 mugs that are kind of glazed the same, but they're not going to be the same. To me, that's the fun of it.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one is like it's a one of a kind.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like by doing these tiny changes, you learn so much more than trying to repeat the same process over and over again,
Hmm.
which that's already a skill in itself for sure. But there's also this freeing aspect of just being able to kind of let go of this, like the precision and just be satisfied with similitude.
Mm. Similitude, is that a word? That's a good
Maybe.
word.
Or I just made it up.
If it's not, I love it.
Uh,
Similitude. I like that.
I want to say yes, but I'm not a big word guy, so.
Cool. What was I going to tell you? I was just thinking of something. I mean, that's what I love about clay is that like it's just so endless,
Hmm.
right? Like every time you do something, you look at a piece and you go, "Oh, I'm going to do that different next time." And then I kind of with a slightly addictive personality, I can't wait to do it again. Once it's in my head, I'm like, I got to go to the studio.
Hmm.
I got to get this out of my head. I got to make this. That happens to me. I don't know. So where do you find inspiration? Just like ideas pop up to you, or do you see a form and go, "Oh, that's cool."
I think that's something that I've really been trying to question in grad school right now. I think while being encouraged to write so much about my work, I'm trying to find this language, like my own form language to use.
Hmm.
And so that's a good question. And maybe I don't necessarily have an answer right now, but I like really prioritize the line and how I can express, like almost like similar to like this idea that I create like something 2D and I get to like give it volume and assign it like use and function based off of how much volume I assign it. I don't know. I think I
Hmm.
must assign 12 times, but that's fine. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of difficult right now to talk about. But yeah, sometimes I start off with like the general form language of just like maybe not traditional, but like pottery in general, just teapots, cups,
Hmm.
mugs, bowls. And then I try to change that language and like abstract the lines and really give it direction and some movement in like unpredictable ways. Like basically, I think my forms come from challenging the assumptions of function and what we perceive as like pottery.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. That's probably not a solid answer, but I'll get there once I get to my MFA thesis. I'll have at
That's a
least a
great
5 to 10 page paper written about it that we people might get answers from in like a year from now.
See, I envy that. I don't know. Can't explain what I do if people ask me. I don't know how to explain it. I'm like because like what you just said, right? Like I want to test the boundaries of functionality and I want it to look cool. So I want it to be able to sit on the shelf
Hmm.
as like a, look pretty from across the room, but I also want you to use it on a daily basis if you want. I just don't
Yeah.
know how to say that.
I think it's just like this balance of making an object that's so visually intriguing, it requires further investigation.
So I gotta write that down. Damn it. Wait, you gotta say it like 17 times in a row. Making an object that is so visually intriguing, it
That
requires more investigation.
yeah, like a further investigation. Yeah.
You just summed up my pottery life.
I think I'm glad this is on recording because maybe
I
I'll
know.
be able to write my artist statement from this too. So we're helping each other.
Yes, that was freaking fantastic. I love it. Actually, I got to email Frank Fisher. I played golf on a simulator this morning with a buddy of mine, and he had one of those little like voice recorder things in his pocket.
Hmm.
And he put it on the table. I said, "What do you got that for?" He goes, "Because I'm 60. I forget everything." He'll just be like, "Milk." I'm like, "Dude, you're old."
That's okay. I mean, I feel like in grad school I've like people need to tell me at least 3 times because I already have like 20 other things like buzzing. And I'm like, all right, I can fit like maybe two more things in my brain. And then I have to start like asking Siri to remind me.
Yes, Siri's great. I do reminders all the time. Hey Siri, set a reminder for.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's only so much in my brain for the day. I'm done for the day. Talk to me tomorrow.
Yep.
So I love those little like soy bottles you made with the crazy spout.
Oh,
Those are cool.
thank you. Yeah.
So did you like? You throw the little body and then just build the spout off of it, or
Yeah, so I've been actually that was my slow transition into only well, pretty much only hand building this semester. So I've switched to mostly slabs recently,
mm-hmm.
which is, I mean, it's so exciting because like not that I've like figured everything. If I figured everything out, I just like I know
Yeah,
I'm
right.
only needed, but I figured out a nice way to make my work while it's thrown and altered. But now it's really exciting to try to reapproach that with a new method of making. And sometimes it like really helps me to inform and like a stat. Again, all this like tiny little investigation, it's like pulling more tools in my toolbox, becoming a more useful like professor one day. Yeah, it's just exciting to see your work made by yourself, but just in a different mode of making.
I can already tell you're going to be a great professor, and you'll be fun. You'll be fun. It's also fun, I think. I teach golf, and I think it's fun or easier maybe to teach something to people that are interested to learn, right? So if you got ceramic students or MFA students, grad students, they're there because they want to be a better artist or better. So it's much easier to get through to them, I think. Would you agree? Or
Yeah, and I mean, I really enjoy teaching already because, um, like, of course, we have the curriculum that we want to like establish, like that the professors, like my professors, want us to establish. But there's a lot of flexibility in like how I'm able to do that. So it's really exciting to start learning like my own teaching pedagogies and learning like the best ways that I can learn, and then also just like learning that I might not know how to teach throwing as well as I do because like doing it and then teaching it is so different.
gosh, yes. I tell the guy that owns the golf course is a buddy of mine, and he always breaks my chops because I play a lot of golf. And he's like, "Is that all you do is play golf?" I said, to teach this game, I have to know how to do it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I can't be like, this is what I think we should do.
Yeah.
You can't stink at it.
Yeah.
This is how I do it, but you should not do it this way. That's cool. Yeah, I don't know. The wheel is just, I don't know. It's a love-hate relationship with the wheel. My wheel is sitting right there next to the laptop, and it's just I haven't cleaned it probably in a year.
Hmm.
So it's just I think it's easier to clean if you just let it dry. Just take it over to
Yeah.
the bucket and tap it with a hammer, and it all falls right out.
Yeah.
It's only because I'm not in a shared studio space that works.
Yeah, it's well, in at UNL you have to like provide most of your own furniture. They have like some shelves available and tables, but like equipment wise, like you're kind of on your own. So my wheel is my own, which is really nice. And so that means like I get to leave and like I have something. Like I don't have to start from scratch. And I can leave it dirty if I want to, or I can clean it if I want to.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't that the best? So I was actually I had written down here. I want you to show us how you make a big handle. Is that what you're doing right there?
Yeah. So it's not super big, but yeah, I guess I'm just kind of retraining my hands because it has been like the last time I made anything was probably
A couple weeks ago, huh?
like beginning of December maybe.
Yeah, well, when holidays and stuff. Or do you get like I do? I get like resentful when I can't get into the studio sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah, like well for the most part, yeah, I go every day. And I'm like a night owl, like I'll get to school, I have to do my classes, and then I leave, go home, take a nap, maybe go like hang out with my dog, cook dinner, and then I come back usually around like 7 or 8, and then I stay till 3.
My
And
goodness.
it's like it's just the best way that like I function in the studio. I don't know. Are you a morning person?
Well, yeah, I just turned 55 a couple of days ago, so I
Happy
can't.
birthday.
Thank you. I can't stay up like I used to, but I really admire those people that like go to work and then they go home and they're a potter when they get home from work. That's amazing to me.
It's I mean, it's really like I found it super rewarding to be able to work so closely with another individual. I share a studio with just one other person,
Hmm.
Her name's PK. She's great. And like we have a really great studio relationship. And it's really nice because we kind of have like the schedules that overlap, like just like a nice crisp 4 hours where we can like chit chat a little bit. We can bounce ideas off of each other, but then we also get our own kind of like solo studio time, which sometimes is difficult in a shared space. And it's just a really nice balance. And I got really lucky with my studio mate, that we get along really well. And then also that, like we just innately have these like schedules that like meld perfectly together.
Yeah, it's tough too. Like I know my work changed a lot as soon as I got my own space. Like I have a home studio now, and like you were saying, to be able to leave your wheel the way you want, and not have to clean up your table or leave pieces out to dry. It
Mm-hmm.
it totally changed. It's like it's such a love-hate thing. Like you want your own space and the ability to do that, but then you get lonely in the studio.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had my own like private studio, which happens my third year. I can apply for a solo studio, which I mean, we're both kind of outgrowing, like, we're pretty prolific. And I'm actually starting to build furniture that coincide with my pots. And so, like, we're going to start needing our own spaces soon, which is going to be sad, but it's also another interesting way that we can start to develop our bodies like separate, like our bodies of work separately, which will be
Hmm.
interesting.
So are you making the furniture out of wood? Or are you going to make clay furniture?
Furniture out of wood, and right now it's not like rudimentary, but I'm using just MDF and Baltic birch and using a CNC a lot. But I actually just recently got a grant so I can buy some more wood and explore new methods of making and maybe translate some of these shapes into wood. And well, the purpose is basically to create like systems that rely on one another to like exist in the home and then increase that like visual intrigue that like leads to the like the tactile experience or the need for that tactile experience to really use all of it. And I really like the idea of putting ceramics and wood together because like the wood highlights the ceramics and like makes the ceramics really stand out, saying like this is like made out of clay and then vice versa.
Hmm.
So
I can't wait to see what you make. That's like it's me pictures. You have any
yeah.
there? I can't wait to see it. Like, hey, this is what I'm like. Cause you have any pictures of it?
Am I allowed to like slide the camera over?
Heck yeah, move whatever you
Okay.
want. Yeah, that's super exciting.
So they're
You
on the
know,
wall.
so
See.
you had some like as I scroll back in your Instagram, you had like those shelves that were holding like the pint glasses. Those were so cool.
Yeah, so these are all like the pieces that I was working with, and they're gonna start coming off the wall, which is why I'm using the word furniture in like a light sense, in the way that like there's gonna be this process of removal and then integration into like the ritual, we could say.
Okay, that is super
Oh,
neat.
so yeah,
They're just
it like oh, go ahead,
hanging on
sorry.
the cleat.
Well, yeah, some of them are French cleats, some of them are like keyholes in the back. Others will probably be like rods. And again, it'll be a learning curve because this is something a little bit more new to me. Like I've made like, ribs out of wood, but like never something of this capacity. So it's really exciting to be able to like kind of translate my vocabulary into a new medium. And then hopefully it's all like really cyclical and I can learn from the wood and the wood can learn from my pots and so on and so forth.
As I was trying to fall asleep last night. I don't know if I had a soda too late or whatnot, but I was just laying there and I had a wall hanging light in my head that I want to make.
Mm-hmm.
And I want it to be sort of like so it's going to be bowl shaped, but when you put it up on the wall, it's kind of like that shape on the wall, sticking
Mm.
out. And I want the light to come out of the bottom and the top.
Mm-hmm.
So then the light, but I don't want you to see the light. So the
Yeah.
light will have to be sort of hidden in the middle. And
Okay.
I was laying there thinking, okay, well, how am I going to have the light in the back and hanging on the wall without the mechanical parts of the light hitting the wall? It's like, how am I going to get that flush? And I just
Mm-hmm.
laid there. But I love those moments. Do you love those moments when you're just like trying to figure out how to make it work? I just love that.
Yeah, I would say that like a lot of my process has become like engineering where I'm just because like I said, I want to keep so many of the aesthetic elements, but like function is so important to me that like I don't want to compromise either. So I'm just engineering new ways to be able to have both.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's so fun. I can't wait to see those. I love the one, like I said, with the pint glasses hanging. That was brilliant.
Thank you.
And then there was a video on your Instagram of you pouring a beer into a big Stein mug.
Oh yeah.
My question for that was that foot like a pedestal foot or was it solid and carved? Because it was kind of a big foot with a mug kind of on top. And I was just wondering, was that hollow,
I think
solid and carved out?
solid and carved out. It's so crazy because grad school you move so quickly through ideas that I'm like, was that only just last year?
Isn't it wild to look back at your stuff? Like I scrolled all the way back into your Instagram for until 2020,
Okay.
and your work was way different, and it's only a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that
Yeah.
wild?
It is, and it's so exciting to see like what has continued to grow and what was kind of like left behind. But I'm always interested of like going back every once in a while. And of course there's those pots where you're like, no. And
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That was my next question. Do you see old stuff and go, "Oh God, throw that away"?
Some, yeah. I mean like those mainly never made it to Instagram, and those were like the pots that are still at like my grandma's house and my mom's house.
Yeah, my mom has a ton in her. I'm like, oh God. I'm like, Mom, I'll give you new stuff, please.
And then you're like, please, I'll give you. And they're like, no, it's my favorite. And you're
Yeah,
like, okay, okay.
I'm begging you, throw that away. Or
Yeah,
I'll have a friend that'll text me a picture of like a latte he made in one of my mugs, and he's like, "This is my favorite mug. Use it every day." I said, and I'm always like, "I have to send you a new mug."
yeah. You're
This is
like,
just
please let me do this.
yes,
It's
I will
more for
give it
me.
to you. Yes, I will give it to you for my sanity, please. It's kind of like people that won't sell seconds, right?
Hmm.
Like I'm not people. Some people are like, "I will not sell a second. I'm not putting bad work out there."
Hmm.
It makes sense, I guess. I don't know. How do you feel on that?
I think if you sell it as a second and the person is aware of what they're buying, I don't know.
Sure.
I guess I like haven't like I have slowly made my way into the market a little bit, but because it's not my top priority right now, it's not something I think about as actively.
Sales, you mean?
Yeah. So,
That's pretty interesting too. So how like I would wonder how that would change the making process if your end goal is not totally to sell it. It's just you're just making it and putting it in the world. That's kind of interesting.
I mean, for me, it's like if I could just make the forms and like even if they never got finished, I could be a happy camper. Like it's just the process that really excites me. Um, but it's been really nice though, not having to worry about sales. That's
Yeah,
I guess.
it's pretty interesting that you say that because I think I would probably like it better myself if I could just make stuff. And I had a friend years ago, Pete, he graduated from Alfred, and
Mhm.
everything he would make, he would give away. And I
Okay.
remember saying, Pete, why are you doing that? And he said, because I like doing it. He said, if I start selling it, it becomes work. And if it's work, I'm not going to like it.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, good point. I didn't get to fully see your handle thing. Do you start off with like a rolled out? Because I love how thick the ends of your handles are. You just put it on a sponge and use a soft rib for that?
Think I just crushed up the one. Yeah, so I'll roll like a carrot, like a tapered coil, and I like sometimes I'll tap it on the table, like where you throw
Hmm.
it and you stretch it out. And then yeah, then depends on the day. Sometimes I'll do like a few pulls, but because I'm trying to make such dramatic curves, I find that using a sponge or a foam and then just like compressing it with a red rubber rib, like something really nice and soft,
Hmm.
is how I have been making my handles. And I recently pulled a series for some smaller mugs and I was like, whoa, I was like, I feel like a little out of shape right now.
I hate pulling handles. I pinch mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I enjoy the process. I feel like it doesn't match my work in particular, but like I love showing my students how to do it. It's great.
Yeah, no, pinching is fun. Being in upstate New York and only being able to make pots in the winter, my studio, 15 years ago was cold. So
Hmm.
here I am pulling handles with cold water, and it's like dripping off your elbow, and
Ooh.
you know what I mean? Yeah, sorry. See,
Yeah.
exactly. I was like, this sucks. So I started pinching handles, and I got to the point where I can pretty much make them all the same or pretty close. But
Nice. Yeah.
I gotta move this. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. So you got any plans to go anywhere, any more residencies or anything? Or
Residencies. I think I'll try to apply for something over the summer.
hmm
I've thrown in maybe one application for the summer, and then I think I'm going to try to do one more. But because there's a good potential that I'll be switching studios for a solo space, I think setting up my studio is going to be a priority. So if I like don't get anything, that'll be okay. And if I do, that'll be great. And yeah, yeah.
I
I
want
don't
to
know.
I want to go do some so bad, and it's funny because they're 3 months, 6 months, year, 2 years, 5 years, and I have three kids. But my wife is like, just go.
That's great.
I'm like, but I'll be gone for 6 months. She goes, exactly. So I don't know. One of these days when the kids are a bit older, I might do that. Like Aramont just posted a job looking for
I
somebody.
saw that.
Oh, I'd love to go down there.
I know I'm
I don't
so
know about,
jealous because I see a few job openings and I'm like, oh, I'm still in school. I was like, hang tight, hang tight.
yeah,
I'll
please,
be there in a year.
yeah, don't give that job away.
No.
But of course, then you'd have to live in Gatlinburg, which is fun for a week at a time. I don't know how great it would be living there.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I've lived in a few different places and I've actually had the pleasure of going to Aramon a few times. But yeah, Gatlinburg it's a fun place for like the week to 2 weeks. I get that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Speaking of which, I got to get Jen Allen on the show. I got to send her a message.
Yeah.
She seems like a lot of fun. And I had on, hold on, I'll be right there. I had on the other day, I had on Doug Pelsman.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
He's just the nicest guy. And I told him, I said, I got to get Adam Field on the show. And he said, oh, we're best friends. I'll text him a message. I said, okay, well, let me know. Because I'd love to have Adam Field on the show too. I'm just like a kid who gets to meet all the cool people.
Yeah, this is a pretty good gig for that, for sure.
It's so fun. I was telling somebody on the show once, I'm like, it's kind of selfish. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, because I want to talk to all these really cool potters. It's just fun. I want to get somehow through 6 degrees of separation, somehow, I guess, Seth Rogen on the show.
Okay, yep.
He's a potter. You know who else does pots, I think? Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt are both pottery guys, I think.
Why not all three at the same time?
Dude,
Just
right?
like
See? Go big or go home.
exactly.
Dude, that would be so fun. Those guys are kind of busy, I guess, though. We watched a movie with Brad Pitt the other day. He's like 62. He looks fantastic. Well, granted, he was always good looking, so I guess
Yeah.
if you're young and good looking, you're usually old and good looking. Let's see. So you're really good friends with Demi, huh?
I'd like to think so. I mean, we always connect at NCCA, which is really great. And then actually it's been a really nice kind of like thread because I got to do that what is it called? The Crisscross, the CXC pop-up show
Yeah,
the
yep.
year before I got to Nebraska, and most of those guys are alum. So it really like kind of like tied things together, which was really exciting. So I got to meet like a lot of you and like Lincoln people before I even got here. And then so yeah, and it's been nice because I have a few alum that I can like have nice just conversations with, and yeah, yeah.
She seems like a lot of fun. People ask me, how do you choose who you want to be on the show? I'm like, I just love their work and I just want to talk to them. I want to be like, tell me how you did that, and she makes
Yeah.
really cool stuff. And it's funny. I wrote down that I think you and Heather Lepp should do a collaboration together. Do you know Heather?
Yeah, and she's a WVU grad alum. Yeah.
Is she really? See, because her forms are, I think her forms and your forms and Demi's are all kind of like in the same kind of really cool family.
Yeah. It was funny. I think at one point Demi and I were just like just chit chatting, and we were talking about doing a collab one day. So maybe it'll happen.
That would be super cool.
And then we can just hit up a Heather Lep while we're at it. And we're
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Heather's coming on
yeah.
the show first week of February.
Well, you can let her know that I'm
Yeah.
down for a collab.
You got it. She also kind of really pushes fun boundaries of functionality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never got to. She got to school, like she got to West Virginia probably 2 weeks after I left because we like just barely like didn't overlap. So yeah, it's been exciting to like kind of know her, but not.
Yeah, I like her surfaces. It's kind of like, well, I'll find out in a few weeks, but it's kind of like looks like a terracige that's kind of soda fired. I haven't figured it out yet.
I think so, based off of what I know, but
Really kind of
yeah,
soft pink.
yeah, I would be definitely gonna listen into that one too.
Requires further investigation.
Exactly.
Well, it's fun when somebody looks at one of your things and then they go, "Well, how'd you do that?" Or, "Oh, I see how you did that." You know, that's fun. It's fun to
Yeah.
try to trick people.
Yeah, I think that's the exciting thing about slabs too is that you can decide to utilize the seams or hide the seams, and it's either like paying homage to the process or trying to like play a trick and be like, how did you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I sort of like to let it do its thing. Like
Exactly.
I like leaving the little snots on there, you know, and you can see, you know what I mean? Like the chunks, and it's art. It's, I don't know, it's clay. It's supposed to be like that. I don't know. I gotta decorate
Yeah,
this thing.
yeah. I mean, these we're hand making these things for a reason, and to remove part of the process is like a choice. I too like to leave those notions that they like to emphasize even more that they are handmade.
Yes. Thank you. See, that's what I was saying. I don't know how to say
No,
it.
you're
Wait, shit, I gotta write that down. I know. Because like I don't want to smooth away the seam. You know, I'm not a guy who can or wants to make like the perfect porcelain cup. You know what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying? That's just not my thing. That's not what I'm looking for. I like this thing better than that. And I love the simplicity of it. I don't know. It's just the way I like to make stuff, I guess. I don't know. I'm always messing with a surface. I can't stand a pot that just doesn't have all sorts of different depths and colors. You know, I need it to be kind of moving.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, but I just got a whole bunch of colors from Speedball. And actually, I'm so excited to pull these things out of the kiln. They sent me a whole bunch of different ones to play with. Well, I'll show you something. I did a platter for my friend the other day. So I got a friend who comes to play golf at the golf course, and he's got like 5 million followers on YouTube and Instagram and all that stuff. So I made him a platter because he does cooking.
Huh?
And then I made the
Yeah.
cantilever too much. Like, it just went, this end was supposed to be like this. And it went,
It's more like a food luge now.
just call it a fouge.
Yeah, exactly.
I opened the kiln, like, because everything, all the decoration came out how I wanted it to, you know. And what I did was I just put some, like, I got to make the feet bigger.
Yeah,
And I just left too much cantilever.
got it.
And it just,
Yeah.
oh, well. So now it's a wall hanging. A food luge. Amy, watch. You just put sushi on it and you go to
Exactly.
a
I mean,
fouge.
you're kind like that just gave me kind of a like the mistakes are sometimes the best because they give you these things that you would probably never do intentionally. And like because one of the things right now too is like I'm thinking about food and presentation and then also like changing the way that we have to interact with it to like make it do what we want it to do. So like again, challenging like people's perceptions of pottery, but also challenging the way that people like innately go to eat and like really dictating how they have to move their hands or their mouth or like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. The workshop I'm teaching out in Wisconsin, I think it's called, what was it? They said name it, and I thought of a name and I emailed it to him. I can't remember. It was like finding forms and implementation. right? So like I like to sit there with a whiteboard or a piece of paper and be like, okay, what do you want to make? What are we going to make? We're going to make a butter dish, right? Okay.
Hmm.
What can we do to that butter dish besides just be a butter dish? You know, let's make it upside down, right? Let's make the butter on the top.
Yeah.
And that's the fun of it. Like you said, let's take this stupid little food luge and maybe play with that. Like now you got me thinking that'd be kind of fun. You just gotta you gotta melt some butter on there and slide the food down.
Yeah. Yeah, it just like slide, maybe there's a plate underneath and it just like slides like right onto your like toast.
Yeah, you can have it like this, and you slowly heat this side until it makes it all the way down the bottom.
What if it's a wall hanging that's supposed to like have a purpose and it's like to slide your butter down while you hold your toast underneath?
Right? You have like a revolving disc here, and it's just the toast
Yeah.
just kind of goes by. It's just a constant drip of butter.
Yeah. Yep.
So you just stick a pound of butter to the front and have a
A
torch on the
seat
back.
lamp.
Yeah, a heat lamp, and it's just slowly dripping. And you just put your toast down there. See?
Exactly.
Yeah. We're like the Jetsons. Do you remember the Jetsons? You might be too young to remember the Jetsons.
I know the Jetsons, but yeah, I might it wasn't necessarily on TV when I was watching cartoons.
Somebody told me they were talking about a famous potter, and they're like, "Oh, so and so used to do this," and the kid was like, "Who's that?" Like, "Oh, yeah, you're a kid. Forgot." What clay do you use?
So this is a clay body that I've developed, and it's because I wanted something that wasn't white, but not necessarily like a dark red or a dark brown. So it's an orange stoneware.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cone six, and I've like kind of developed it here, and I've developed it to the point where it's like really good for throwing and hand building, and it can take like all of my hacking with my darting and or altering and stuff. So yeah, it's freshly mixed though, so it's a little bit on the short side, but just like right out of a Soldner mixer and like a little bit of wedging, it's doing pretty well.
Cool. How do you make it orangey?
I use Lizella and then I help it out with like a little bit of extra yellow iron oxide.
That's cool. Hold on, let me get my dog. She's gonna keep barking till. Hold on, I'm
Words.
coming, Poppy. I have two pains in the butts. Come on. One of them's getting really old. Go on, honey. She's she wants to be in the studio, but she can't come down the stairs anymore.
Mm.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. I actually think she fell down the stairs last year. So now she comes in the studio, and I can't. When I want to go upstairs, I have to walk her all the way around the house because she can't go up the stairs either. Poor
Mm.
old girl. Poor old baby. Yeah, so I really like your clay. So it takes your hacking, right?
Yeah, I definitely needed something more forgiving. I was working with earthenware for a little bit, but it still wasn't as forgiving as like the extra ball clay that I like needed for that extra plasticity. So I switched to cone six, and it also changed my color palette, which is again like small minute changes I think are really exciting to your work, whether you're changing process material, color
Hmm.
patterns, glazes, etc., etc. Just even small changes really help develop like new ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have some grog in there?
I do. I use like three different kinds again to like help with plasticity. Some of it is for texture. So I have some fine, medium, and then like or maybe like fine, medium, and then medium. Nothing like too crunchy. I did do a crunchy phase where I was doing like chicken grip, but that was like when I was wood firing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it's definitely lets you play with it because you just made those. Those are pretty wet, and you're cutting them out and putting them together, right?
Yeah, I'm also impatient, so if like we weren't talking, I would be blasting this with like my torch too.
Dude, I do the same thing. Here it is right here. I call it the impatience tool.
Yep.
And the only reason I'm not torching that bowl is because it'd be like the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was telling someone this the other day. A lot of times, if I'm teaching a workshop, especially a hand building one, I say, okay, let's draw our form. Let's cut some slabs. Let's lay them on the table, and let's go for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like,
Nice.
well, what do you mean? I'm paying you to teach me how to make clay. I said, yeah, you got to let it dry, right? Like I got this slab right here and it's just too wobbly to play with.
Yeah, we use the saying when we're teaching that, like, you guys, like, to our students, we're like, you guys are going to become like moisture managers. Like, you have to like learn how to like when to touch it and when not to touch it. And yeah, so moisture managers.
That's so funny you said that. Do you know who John Gill is?
Yes.
I've known John Gill for 25 years, and he said to me one time, and I've said this on the show a million times. He said, "All ceramics is moisture management." To me, one, and
Exactly.
I said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "If you can control how fast your clay dries, you win." Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this right here, sitting to my right, that big thing. I had somebody build a damp box for me a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty big. It's got a bunch of shelves. It's like the size of a refrigerator, but it's lined with plastic, and I could
Nice.
put stuff in there and just leave it in there for a day, and it's just like
Mm-hmm.
perfect leather hard, and I can mess with it. But I don't know
Beautiful.
if you said you're kind of impatient. I have to. That's another reason I think my work changed when I got my own space. Is I have to leave it because I'm so.
Yeah.
I
Sometimes
have to
I'm just
walk
so
away.
excited to see the end
Yeah,
that like it's not even just general, like I'm a fairly patient person in general, but like when it comes to just like wanting to see the idea get finished, I like just kind of try to rush through it. And sometimes it's fine. Like if they're easy ideas where I can like just sketch in clay, like I will, and I'll push the limits to like, just to see how it looks like when it's finished so that I do my first like educated sketch and then next time I go ahead and like really give it gusto and like give it my all
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and my patience.
yeah. Well, that's the beauty of having a pug meal as well, right? Because you can
Oh,
just mess around and just pug it. Like
delish.
I have 4 buckets of reclaim over there that I have to do. But I like the pots that when you're making something and you sort of lose the love for it, like mid make, and you're
Mm-hmm.
like, well, now I'm just going to experiment, and you just
Exactly.
start cutting it and sticking it, and and then you learn. To me, I learn so much when I do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's like another lesson that I've learned is that like through iterations and making multiples of things, you lose this kind of preciousness. So you have an advantage to like you always have the advantage of the next one to just keep pushing it further and further and further. And if like one fails, you still have however many you have left.
Yeah. Yep. Speaking of John Gill, like he said so many amazing things to me. He said, "Never fall in love with any pot you ever make because you just make another one."
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
Yeah, good point, John. He also said one time, he said, which I thought was pretty cool. He said, don't make pots for a show, select pots for a show."
Mm-hmm.
So basically just keep making and fill your shelves. And when someone says, "Hey, you want to be in the show?" So say, "Sure, I'll give you this one, and this one," rather than going, "I got to make these pots,"
Mm-hmm.
which I'm doing right now. I'm in this resistance show at Ensika this year, and I have to make.
Exciting.
It's cool. I'm excited. But I had these mugs that just said "F this" on them. I called them morning mugs,
Mm-hmm.
and they liked them and wanted them, but they want them to be a little bit more, more than just "F this."
Mm-hmm.
They want it to mean more, and I'm like, oh, how do I make it mean more? I don't know. Like I said, it's hard for me to say,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're going to Ensika?
Yes. Yeah, I think a few of us are driving. We're gonna make a road trip.
How long is that?
If I can remember correctly, it's like 11 hours, so not too bad if you split it between like four people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm driving out with my buddy too. The guy from Bailey sent me a message yesterday because I think they want me to do a demo at Bailey
Oh,
Ceramics.
shoot. Yeah.
I was like, sure, but we'll see. Those guys don't get back to you too often. I'm a quick like emailer, like, okay,
Uh-huh.
yeah, let's do it. And then week goes by. Did you get my email? You don't want to be that guy. Hello. So I'll talk to Jim this week. I was looking at one of your teapots, and it had, and I love it. It was beautiful. It had like the yellow, like the shapes like your handles and stuff on there
Mhm.
on it, and it has like the wire in the handle.
Okay, yeah,
Those-
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what I'm talking about. So when you do those little, I'm trying to pick something that I could explain it with. When you do those little like cutout lids that fit perfectly back in the shape, Do you put a
Mm.
little flange on the inside for them to sit on? How do you make them stay?
I, those I did pillows of. Like they were pillowed down, so it had a kind of deep drop. I could have definitely made it a little bit more functional and probably dropped it down farther, or given it like a little, like I called it like a little kickback, so that when you tip it, it like hooks on a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So
I'd
that's
love to.
probably what I would do for future iterations of that. But I don't know what I've been doing with my recent teapots. Everything's moving so quickly. Yeah.
That's a good thing. Yeah. I'd love to see the bottom of that little lid at the pillow idea one of these days.
I don't know if I have any pillow. I think actually the teapot that you're talking about, either. So I had that in the Ensika like jury teapot show that Hamish Jackson used
Hmm.
to put together.
Hmm.
And I think that one, if that's the exact one that we're thinking of, that one went to Chris Pickett.
Cool.
I think he purchased that one. And then he also was like, "Oh, do you have another one similar to that one?" And so the brother or the cousin or
Hmm.
whatever,
Yeah.
like familial teapot went to Hamish.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I have any more of those at all right now.
How do you do your spouts? Do you use a spout tool or?
So I start them from these like
Hmm.
the pillow. But what I've been doing recently to make them more functional is I've been making an interior spout that hides inside the shape of the funky spouts, and it's like a very like clean functional spout then
That's tricky.
inside. Yeah, it's an extra step, and that's like one of those engineering things that I've been having to like kind of play with to so I don't have to compromise.
But that makes sense though, right? Because if you make those kind of funky pillow spouts, they probably won't pour very well if they're kind of going this way. And that we kind of glurg down, maybe. I don't know if glurg is a word.
Yeah. No, yeah. Some of them like have this, like the way that they're shaped, sometimes they'll keep pouring a little bit after you start tilting it up, and it's like not an immediate cutoff. So something that someone's not necessarily expecting. Or yeah, the first one will go like and then like start actually pouring.
Yeah. So
Which
you
those are
so you
super
just
fun to
so you
play with.
make a spout, put it in, and then put the pillow around the spout.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
genius. Because then it's pouring great no matter what.
Yeah. And I mean it takes the extra step, but I'm fine with that if I kind of get both.
Or you don't forget, right? You ever put a spout on and forget to put the holes in?
That has definitely happened on some things, not recently. I think most recently when I've done the spout inside the spout, I kind of forget. I was like, oh no, which end has like the pouring part and which one has the connecting part.
That's
And then I
hilarious.
cut into it, and then sometimes most of the time it's the right side. Every so often it's the wrong side, and I'm like, all right, well, next time. And then I have to put like a little X, like a tiny little crosshatch on something, or you just mess up again and you just goof and you learn again.
Just make another one. That's funny when
Yeah.
you cut the wrong end and go, oh crap. Yeah. I don't put the holes anymore because I would forget to blow through it when I glazed it. And
Mm,
I've closed them off too many times. That just made me sad. So I
mm,
just I just cut the whole hole out now. Just
yeah. It was interesting when I was in Japan. There were so many different types of teapots. So I played with both. I played with like the one with the strainer and then the one without the strainer. So like the tea server and then the teapot.
yeah, if it's gonna be loose tea, you have to have a strainer. But I had written down, tell me about that Japan thing. That seemed really cool.
It was amazing. I was there for like 2.5 months, give or take. I was gonna try to do weeks, and I was like, that's too much math before the semester starts.
That's really cool. What a beautiful place. I've heard Japan is beautiful.
Yeah, it was amazing, and it's like it gave me a new appreciation in the way that like Japan is so like ingrained, like or ceramics is so ingrained in the Japanese culture that it's so interesting to see like a different view on ceramics and like the way that they integrate it into their homes in different ways that it's done in the US, and like that there is this appreciation for handmade and specifically ceramics, and like craft is such a strong, like has such a strong presence in Japan. But then there's the other side of Japan that's like super technological, and like finding the balance in between those is really interesting as well.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Yeah. I've always loved and maybe that's kind of where I get my sort of aesthetic from. I don't know. The freedom from is like the old Japanese unomis. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And it's that really Oribe green, and they're just kind of chunky and slapped together, and they got a rip in the side, and I
Mm-hmm.
just love that that's a functional ceremonial bowl that people cherish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you don't know what you're looking at, like if you're a non-potter, you're like, that looks like a 4-year-old made it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you're like, you don't understand how much skill goes into that.
Yeah, and it's like they just there is just such a really nice appreciation for handmade objects and so much skill. I was in Tamba, uh and yeah, I was in Tamba and I got to meet this like a potter that had been part of a pottery family for generations and generations. I don't know, I feel like they said like 500 years, give or take. And this, unfortunately, at some point in this man's life, he had a stroke. And so he can't do much, but he makes pottery every day. And that's one thing he can still do every day.
Wow,
Like,
that's very cool.
and it was just really beautiful to see. And like, also just in general to like know that there's these families that have been paying down this like tradition for
Yeah,
generations.
yeah, thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the calligraphy with the big brush.
Yeah.
Love that stuff. It's just beautiful. Well, we're at an hour and 15 minutes. That went pretty quick.
Oh
Holy
yeah.
moly. Let's see what else we got. I think we're pretty good. I love your little the espresso mugs you put for that was like they were upside down and on top of each other. I was like for a second I zoomed in. I'm like, wait, what is that? I'm like, oh, it's like
Yeah.
mugs. Tricky, tricky.
Yeah, those have been super fun. They like challenge balance, like or visual balance. But the kind of cool thing that I've been figuring out is that they work people like they're like, oh, it's a little wobbly. I was like, wait till you put the liquid in it because it helps the counterbalance. Like it's a
Mm,
lot of kind of like physics,
yeah, yeah,
and not that I ever thought that I'd be using physics um after I took it in like high school, but
yeah.
yeah. I mean, I don't use like all the equations, but I have to think about I have to use my brain.
That's interesting. Yeah, you got to put the liquid in. Yeah, to make it to make it hold up, like not
Yeah.
fall over.
It's exciting that the objects don't get their full potential until they're being used too.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. It's interesting too, like your steins that you made. It's tough to make a stein without making it clunky. To make it that big.
Mm-hmm. I haven't made a Stein since those, I don't think. Not that I
Really
know. Mm-hmm. Maybe. Yeah. I actually just thought of one that I want to make, so that's good. We're
nice,
generating ideas.
nice. Let's go. I want to make one too. I love those things. My buddy up in Alaska, Matt. I said we should just do like a challenge between each other. Like we'll do a form a month, and we'll just make our own iteration of each form, and just throw a form at each other. Hey, let's do this. Just for fun.
Yeah. Once I graduate, I'm like, I'm gonna find maybe that's like a Demi and I or one of my friends that I've made throughout like my really like nice ceramics journey, and that can be something that we do. But right now I'm like I'm dialed in.
Yeah, right now, right now. That's too funny.
Yeah. But did say Stein, and it makes me want to make some stuff and apply to the gosh, the last call show for Companion. I
Yes,
love that
that's
show.
that's coming up. I got to get some stuff ready for that. What else you just did? You had a show at Morian Center, didn't you?
Yeah, I was a resident at the Moraine before I got here. I was there for 2 years, so from like 2022 to 2024.
How great was that?
I loved it. It was such a great experience. I think that they went through a bunch of like changeover after my year left. So I like can't speak to the residency, but
Oops.
I really enjoyed my time there.
That's cool. That seems like a beautiful place. Where is that again?
In St. Petersburg, Florida. It's
Yeah, who was the
like 20 minutes on a really good day south of Tampa.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, Gulf Coast. Um, but being a working person, like everyone's just like, oh, I bet you go to the beach all the time. And you're like, yeah, like in all of my free time because I make so much money as a
Yeah.
resident artist.
Yeah. All this time. That's funny. Yeah, that's all I do. It's like my buddy that owns the golf course. He says to me, like I told you earlier, he says that all you do is play golf. And he he's also our superintendent. And I say, is that all you do is mow the lawn?
Yeah.
Right? That's just not the way it works. Very cool. So you've had time to think of a tip for us. 'Tis that time, Amy.
I think my biggest takeaway from ceramics is always make more than one, and even tiny changes can make drastically different forms.
I like it. Yeah, I like always make more than one. Somebody told me that years ago. Like if you're making a teapot, for instance, make 6 spouts, and then you
Yeah.
just take it and go, nope, that's not the one, and oh, that's not the one, and then, oh, that fits this teapot, and then you have 4 different tea bodies too. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's a great way to look at it. I just was when I was cleaning my studio, I found these old crappy wooden spoons. I cut the handle off the end of it, and I'm going to make little scoops out of them. I'm going to slump mold the wooden spoon scoop. I think. Who knows?
I very sloppily put together, I think, a scoop. So
Yeah. See, we're scooping.
more scoop.
We're
That
scooping,
that's
dude.
actually my tip. More scooping.
More scooping. You all should scoop more. That's too funny. I don't know what this is going to be, but that's as we go, as we were just talking about it. That's the fun of it. Just who cares? Right?
Yeah. Yeah, this was a great kind of little segue into the beginning of the semester, just kind of just playing.
Yeah, I'm really
Playing
excited
and
for you.
chatting.
I can't wait to see what you make. I'm excited to see your wall hanging furniture stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, and just everything you make, I just go, oh, that's so cool. So I just love
Thank you.
everything you make.
I'm glad one of us thinks that.
Isn't that weird how you love everybody else's stuff? So I hope that goes away someday. But I got invited. I was in the Flower City Pottery Invitational.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, which is huge. Actually, I used to go there when 10 years ago, John Gill was in it, and I was like, oh my God, these people are superstars. And then I was in it. And it's still hard for me to believe that they wanted my pots there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, imposter syndrome is so hard to remove yourself from, like, in this field. But yeah, we need to start recognizing that we deserve the things that we earn.
Yeah, I wish it was easier.
I know. I say that and then I'm gonna like go like, oh my God, I was just on this like on like Between Two Viewers podcast. Like, why?
What did he want to talk to me for?
I know.
Well, I was next to Dallas Wooten,
Nice, yeah.
right? And Austin Riddle. Do you know Audie?
Like in passing, I think I've met him a few times. Yeah.
He makes amazing stuff. And Merritt Metzger, she does the beautiful graffito stuff.
Yeah, she's at Airmont right now.
Yeah, she is. She's with Sarah and Austin Kudre.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're coming on the show next month. Those two
Okay.
are so fun. Sarah's so funny. Oh my God.
Yeah.
We were coming down the stairs at Flower City because she was in it too, and I think she got to the bottom, and she said something like 19, and I go, "You count the stairs too?" She's like, "Yeah, doesn't everybody?" I'm like, "I don't think so."
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just counts it. She goes, "Do you count the ceiling tiles?" I go, "No, that's pushing it.
No.
Don't be crazy." But yeah, but Austin Riddle was there. But I'm looking at Dallas Wooten's stuff is just so beautiful.
Mhm.
And then there's my stuff, which is all sorts of different colors and sizes and decorations and some faceting, some hand built. There's no consistency to it at all. I don't know. Do I have to be consistent? I don't know.
No.
You're going to be a professor. You tell me.
No, I think the exploration is some of the most exciting parts, and like, yeah, like it's really nice when you find your or a voice in clay, but it doesn't have to be your only one. I feel like that would be so counterintuitive, just also as a person, like to be like, no, you have to be this person for the rest of your life.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, like I'm trying to maybe make like a line of something that I'm maybe known for, and I can make those, and everyone goes, "Oh, that's a Mike Griffin mug." But then I want to experiment all the other time and just make what I want. I don't know. Just keep making stuff, right?
Yeah, just keep making.
Just keep making. That's a big, big saying on this show. Actually, is you just keep making pots. The good ones will come. You got to make big clunky pieces of junk before you get good with your medium. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, there's and it's kind of like how we were talking about when you look back at kind of your old pots. There's some notion in there that like maybe we couldn't see right then, but we can see now, and you're like, "Oh my god, that was the start of it."
Yeah, yeah. Good point. Okay, before we go,
Mhm.
tell everybody in our audience where they can find your work, galleries, websites, anything, or not.
Okay. Um I'm selling at the Highland Gallery and Studio at South Bend in Indiana, and then
Hmm.
also at oh in Tandem Gallery in Bakersville, North Carolina. And yeah, I think those are the only two places as of right now.
Andrew Linderman's up at Highland too, isn't he?
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. I had him on the show. I said, "Do people call you Andy?" He said, "Old people do." I said, "I'm going to call you Andy forever now." He seems really nice. Very cool. Well, I look forward to seeing you at Sika. We'll have to get together. Are you doing the pop up again?
I don't think so. I'm not making enough work that actually works right now.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make pots for a show. I'm like, I don't wanna. Oh well.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
keep
making
making.
enough experimentation now that once I get out of school, I'm like, that's when I can make the pots that like work. But right now it's just having fun.
Show me that up close. What did you make there? Let's see. That
So
was like a little dish.
yeah, just like, ooh, they're probably gonna fall apart because they're not very well scratched and scored together, but just like two kind of like little scoop ideas. Just ideas, just sketches, but
Love them. Yeah. Did you push down that shape into the slab, or did you put a slab around the edge?
it started off as a flat slab, and then I used like those cutouts basically that I was talking to you about, like the positives. So yeah, I pressed that into there, and then I kind of cut on the slab. I cut around that, and then I'll cut a dart so that I can fold it in together.
Cool. So the positive that's in the bottom talks to the handle that's on the right.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
they're. I don't think they're exactly the same ones, but yeah, I could totally do the same ones and have them kind of like reflect back and forth too. That would just require some more pre-planning.
And God knows potters are good at that, aren't they? You know what I'm trying to put together right now is so let me grab this box here. Hold on. If it's not too hot, I'm gonna grab it with my hands. It's probably cool by now. Well, we can see if the lid comes off together. Oh, I might have glazed it on. We made another doorstop then. See if the lid comes off. So I want to do like make this box with me.
Mhm.
There we go. So I'm gonna do like so these box, it's all terracid,
Mhm.
it's black clay, terracid. It's just a nice little fun box. But I want to do like let's make this box together video, and then
Mhm.
I have like this. I'm going to use this software with two different cameras, but I have to.
Okay.
Of course, I got to buy this thing that makes you switch between cameras. Like I can go,
Okay.
okay, camera two, and then it'll go to that one. So I can show people. Let's a 2 hour video of making this from beginning to end, and
Nice.
then put it on my website for $30, $25.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. You got to find ways to make money other than selling stuff because nobody wants to buy pottery these days.
Yeah. 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 I haven't made a very large income off of my my work, which is like, and especially because I'm in school and like I said, I'm not making a lot of successful things. I'm just kind of making ideas and sketches, which is really nice. But yeah, I guess I haven't hit that kind of point in my career yet. And then the good thing about academia is that I don't necessarily have to do those if I don't want to, but maybe I
Hmm.
will, maybe I won't, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Ways to keep me busy in the winter.
Yeah. But I do like the like switching back. I feel like it could also turn into like a little music video.
And now you're talking. Just wear like a 1980s like neon coat, like when you do it,
Hmm.
those big glasses, and do like breakdancing, like,
Yeah,
and get them like write a rap or something like that. I
for
don't know.
sure.
It'll be
Yeah.
fun. Something to do. Awesome. We will see you at Ensika.
Yes.
I love your work. I can't wait to see the things you got on the wall. I can't wait to see those done. I can't wait to see what you make next. And I'm going to go right now and try to make a cool handle like you do.
Thank you.
It's going to fail, but I'm going to try.
Well, now I want to make boxes, so
Right?
we'll compare.
Let's make boxes. I got a lid drying right here for another box. So this is going to be something. I got a base, and that's what this slab is going to be. This slab will be the body of this box. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Nice. Yeah.
Looks good in my head.
Yeah. It always does, and then but it just sometimes they just take a few iterations till it like actually reflects. Or it's better than what you thought of.
Yeah, I think the key is not to quit on it when you make one. You go, ah, crap. You got to come back to that idea. Don't just
Hmm.
abandon it, right? I think also when you make one and you don't like it, it's your brain challenging yourself to say, hey, you got to try harder.
Exactly.
Good things don't come easy.
Yeah.
All right, Amy, I really appreciate your time. You're awesome. I love your
Oh,
work, and
thank you. You too.
I can't wait to meet you. And we'll see you at Ensika. Drive safe.
Okay. See ya. Bye.